Good morning and welcome to our practice today. Today we'll just be doing a good morning flow, just something to get our blood flowing a little bit, give us some energy to start our day today. Kind of loosen up the muscles, stretch us out some, and really begin our day off in a good positive way. So we'll just begin seated today. You can start in a chair if you'd like. You could even start sitting in the bed if that's comfortable for you. You can start on the floor, legs can be straight. We can come into an easy seat. You can be in half lotus, full lotus. You could even be on the knees. So whatever's comfortable for you. We're just gonna come into this seated position, placing both sit bones nice and firm on the mat. Sometimes I like to move a little bit of this extra cushion out of the way so I can be nice and firm, grounded on the mat. Sitting up nice and tall, really extending my spine up to the sky. Relax the shoulders down, away from the ears. Extending the neck long. The palms can rest right on your lap, on the thighs. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And just gently release it out the nose. And just taking a moment here to come into this space. Come into this moment, welcoming in this new day. Taking a moment for ourselves, for yourself, before the day begins. I welcome you to gently close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Just begin to gently deepen the breath here. Nice controlled, slowed breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the nose. And I welcome you to take a moment here to set an intention for your day today. Maybe it's a word or a mantra that you choose to take with you throughout the day. Sometimes I like to use the word or the mantra, just breathe. With the hustle and the bustle of the day, it's easy to forget to just stop and take a breath. Think about something that you'd like to take with you or keep with you throughout the day today. And we'll begin to set that intention today here in our practice. Inhaling through the nose, maybe you feel your chest rising. And as you exhale, notice how the chest falls back. Beginning to notice any sounds that you hear outside of the room, maybe inside the room. Beginning to notice any smells, the quality of the air that you're breathing. Taking a big inhale through the nose, filling up the entire body. Open the mouth, giving a gentle sigh of an exhale out. Then gently opening the eyes. On the next inhale, let's sweep the arms out to the side. Inhaling the arms up, maybe the gaze follows. And exhale the arms down to the sides, just inviting movement now with the breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, arms down to the side. This time we're going to take a twist. Inhale the arms overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to twist the body open to the right. Inhale the arms overhead, reaching up through the fingertips. And exhale, opening up to the left. Just gentle here. Inhale. Reaching up through center. Exhale to the right. Again, just moving with the breath. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale up through center. Exhale, open to the right. This time let's stay here. So the right hand can place behind the right hip, serving as somewhat of a kickstand. Check in with the spine. See that we're lifting the spine up nice and tall. On an inhale, grow taller through the spine. And exhale, maybe you twist a little more open to the right. Now remember, it is first thing in the morning, so we don't have to go 100% here. Now just go where you feel a little bit of a stretch, just getting that spine warmed up here a little bit. Just remember, always listen to your body. This is your practice. Let's take one more breath here. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Next, inhale up through center, arms rise up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, open to the left. Staying here for 3 breaths. The gaze can go over the back shoulder if that's available for you today. Just checking in with the neck if that doesn't feel so good for you. That's okay. Stay where it's okay for your body. The right hand can come to the left thigh. Imagine on the inhale, you grow taller through the spine. And the exhale, maybe you twist a little more, even if it's just in the mind. One more complete breath here. And on the next inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, let's bring the arms down in front, placing the hands down on the mat. And we want to keep the sit bones down on the mat here. So some of us, we may stay right here. For others, we may be able to walk the hands forward, coming to a forward fold. So keeping the sit bones down into the mat, we're going to come as far as we can without them lifting. The head and the neck can come down and be heavy, and just coming to a forward fold. So here's a good place for a block, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning, and I apologize for that. We can use blocks today. You can also have a chair. If you don't have blocks at home, you could also use some big books or like a dictionary. But this is a good spot for a block where you could use to rest your head on. So just coming into a forward fold here. Getting into the hips and the lower back. Relaxing the arms down. Can let the arms be heavy, releasing the shoulder blades. Always coming back to your breath. And as you take a nice inhale, can say that mantra or your intention to yourself that you chose at the beginning of the class. And as you exhale, release anything that's not serving you, anything that you don't want to take with you today, any tensions, tightness, anything that maybe, any stuck energy. On your next inhale, you can lift the gaze, walk the hands back in, sitting back upright. We'll take another inhale with the arms out to the side, reaching all the way up overhead. And this time on the exhale, the right arm will slowly come down to the side, meeting the mat. Let's reach that left arm overhead. And we're going to reach it over to the side, getting a nice side body stretch. And then we're going to inhale the arms up. And exhale, switch to the other side, reaching through the fingers of the right arm here. And here we're going to keep the right hip down on the mat. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, right arm down. So we're also using this right arm. You can use it as sort of a kickstand to keep that left hip planted down on the mat. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Exhale, the left hand down. Inhale back, both arms overhead. Exhale the right arm down. This time we're going to stay using the right hand as a kickstand to keep that left hip planted down onto the mat. Reaching the right arm overhead. Rolling that right shoulder blade, the front of the shoulder, let's roll it back. Opening up through the chest, opening the chest towards the front of the body. The gaze here can look down, it can be neutral, or you can also be looking up to the sky. I just don't want the head to be hanging like with no control. Be mindful of the entire body. Feeling the stretch from fingertips all the way down to the left hip, left sit bone actually. Continue your breathing. Inhales through the nose, sending the breath to the entire left side body. Exhale out the nose. We got one more breath here. Next inhale, rising up through center. Nice big stretch overhead. Exhale the left arm down, reaching that right arm up and over. Keep that right hip planted down. Open up through the chest. Let the chest shine to the front of the room. 3 breaths here. And on the next inhale, we'll lift all the way up, reaching overhead. Exhale the arms down to the sides. And let's just take the hands behind the hips, and we're going to switch the legs out. So right now I have my right leg on top, and I'm going to switch it so the left leg is on top. So it might feel a little awkward. And then we're going to take the hands in front again and take another forward fold. So remember, each side is different. We want to keep those sit bones down on the mat. So just taking that fold wherever feels good for you on this side, where you can keep both sit bones down on the mat. And again, you can bring your block or a chair. So even the seat of the chair you could rest your head on. You can round through the back. Let the head, the neck, the shoulders be heavy, taking a forward fold. Feeling a stretch in the hips, the back. Just coming back to the breath here. Nice controlled breathing. In through the nose and out through the nose. Allow everything to soften. Soften through the jaw. Soften the shoulders down. And on your next inhale, lift the gaze. Slowly walk the hands back up. And we're just going to meet in a tabletop position. You could just place the hands in front, coming to a tabletop. You can swing the legs to the side. So everyone just meeting in a tabletop position. Wrists will come underneath the shoulders. The knees will be underneath the hips. Fingers are spread nice and wide here, creating a nice base for the body, pressing down through, lifting up the upper backside body, hugging those ribs in, drawing the navel into the spine. The feet are nice and flat on the mat. And we're going to take an inhale breath, and let's drop the belly button towards the earth as we lift the head. And on an exhale, we'll reverse, round through the spine. Take the gaze to the belly button. And on an inhale, belly button now comes to the earth, lifting the gaze. Draw the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, round through the spine. Taking a little bit of cat-cow here. Exhale, draw the chest through the shoulders. So just move with your own breath here. Exhale to round. Inhale, cow pose. Really lifting that tailbone. This should feel really good. Really waking up that spine. And next time you come through a neutral spine, we'll end there, we'll all meet there. And again, just check in with your pose, your body posture. We want a nice flat spine. And then from here, we're going to take an inhale breath, and lifting the right arm, we'll reach that right arm out to the side, reach as high as we can, up, up, up. And on exhale, let's just swoop it down, reaching under the left arm all the way through, placing the right shoulder down onto the mat. The right side of the head comes down for a thread the needle. So the left hand can stay where it is, or you can reach it up overhead. You can also bring it to the low back, or you can wrap it completely around the other thigh for a bind. So whatever feels right for you. So the hips are staying high. We're taking a nice stretch, opening up the back of the shoulder. 3 breaths. If the left hand has moved, let's bring it back underneath that left shoulder. And on the next inhale, press into the left hand. Reach that right arm back up as high as you can. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale the hand back down underneath the shoulder. Maybe we'll just wag our tail a little bit here before we move on to the other side. Check in that the wrists are below the shoulders. And on the next inhale, the left arm now will reach out. Reach as high as we can. Exhale as we thread underneath now the right arm. Resting that left down to the mat. Coming down onto the left shoulder, the left side of the head. The right arm now can stay where it is, or it can reach above the head to the low back, or you can take a bind. Hips stay high. Relax the body down, stretching out the back of the shoulder. Relax down into the pose. Soften the jaw area. Come back to your breath. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the nose. The right hand is moved. Let's bring it back underneath that right shoulder. On the next inhale, press into the mat, lifting the body. Raise that left arm up high. Exhale, back down to a tabletop position. Coming back to our tabletop, these fingers are nice, spread nice and wide. Knees are hip width distance apart, right below the hips. Let's press into the tops of our toes, tops of our feet, and see if we can hover the knees off of the mat. For 3, 2, 1, and lower down. We're going to work on just a little bit of strength, just energizing the body, just to build some heat before we start our day today. Coming into bird dog, so we're just going to take and place the right hand out in front, and the left toes come behind the body. Checking in with our hips. Let's make sure the hips are squared to the mat. And then if we can stay right here, this is perfectly fine here. You can try to begin to lift the back left toes off the mat, keeping those hips square to the mat. Reach through the back toes here, keeping the hips square. Maybe we stay here, or we lift those right fingertips, keeping a nice straight spine. The gaze is down, reaching through the fingertips and all the way out through the toes. Drawing the belly button up to the navel. We're breathing in through the nose. Exhaling out through the nose. Slowly lowering it back down. Did great. Moving to the other side, we'll extend the left hand now out in front. The right toes come to the back. Drawing the belly button up to the spine, really creating a nice strong core here. The hips, the pelvic area is square to the mat, to the earth. You can practice staying right here, keeping that area nice and square. Can begin to lift the toes off of the mat. Really drawing that right hip bone down towards the mat. You can stay right here. You can begin to lift that left arm up to the ear. Create a nice long line from the left fingers out through the right toes. Continue to breathe. Reach out through the crown of the head. Create some length in that neck as well. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. One more time, inhale. On the exhale, let's lower all the way down, back to tabletop. You guys did a great job. Let's just sway those hips from side to side. We created some heat, some energy within our body, creating some strength. We're gonna move into a down dog, taking our first down dog of the day. So on this downward facing dog, I want you to keep the knees bent a lot, as much as possible. So we're really going, it'll really get a stretch in the back, which feels really good. So the fingertips you want to have nice and wide, creating a nice base. The thumbs will point in towards one another. The index fingers are pointing up towards the top of the mat. Toes curled under. Pressing into the pads of the fingertips, into the thumbs and index fingers. Lift the knees. The hips will lift up to the sky. Send the belly towards the knees. Keep those knees nice and bent. So we're here right now. Really bent knees. We can slowly begin to straighten one leg. And then bend it back. And then straighten the other one. And bend it back. Just slowly pedaling out our dog here. Turning your arms, turning the elbows in. So we want the inside of our elbow joints facing forward. So just slowly pedaling out our dog. Maybe we're starting to straighten the legs a little bit more. Keep pressing through those fingers. And let's slowly begin to end this movement and just come to a moment of stillness in our downward facing dog. Coming back to the inhales and the exhales. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. On the next inhale, the right foot lifts up high for a 3-legged dog. On the exhale, let's bring the right knee into the nose. And we're going to step the foot in between the hands. So if you need a little bit of help, that's okay. Just guide it up in there, right in between the hands. Once you're there, you can lower that back leg down. My hair is all over the place here. So this is where I like to have a blanket. And if you don't have a blanket or a pillow or something, you can always fold your mat in for padding on the knees. You can lay your back foot down flat. This is also a good place to have blocks or books. You can also tent up onto your fingertips here. So we're just coming into a low lunge. So from this low lunge, let's lift the chest. Shine that chest through the shoulders here. Stretching out the front of that left foot. So with blocks, it may look like this as well. Come back to your breath here. So you want to feel a little bit of a stretch, and you want to think about relaxing the rest of the body. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Releasing the jaw. Breathing, sending the fresh oxygen to that area that we're stretching. On the exhale, releasing the tightness, the tension. On the next inhale, we're going to shift the hips, pressing them back. You may walk that front forward a little bit, coming into a stretch for the right hamstrings. You can lift the front toes. Without blocks, the hands will shift back. Again, you could use the wall for support. So whatever you need for support is okay here. Try to keep the back somewhat of a straight spine rather than rounded, shining the chest through. So instead of being rounded forward, we want to keep it lifted. And this is where the blocks can help with that. So some people think that blocks are for people who aren't flexible or people who are just starting yoga. But the blocks are really for support. They can help you to actually go deeper into stretches or different poses. I really enjoy using the blocks. You could even take this, you could even sit back on the foot if you feel you can go deeper into the stretch. Think about drawing that right hip crease back. On the next inhale, we're going to shift back forward to that front foot. The hands will plant, and then the back foot, curl those toes under, and we're actually going to bring the back foot up to meet the front. Coming into a forward fold here. So the feet are hip width distance apart. Let that head hang down heavy. So take a nice bend in the knees here. The more of a bend you take in the knees, the more of a low back stretch you'll feel. And here I like to shake my head out, yes and no. Get a nice stretch in the head. And on an inhale, let's straighten out that spine. Get a nice flat back. Exhale and lower. And on an inhale, we're going to do a root to rise. Come all the way up. Palms touch, and exhale the hands down through heart center. And we're going to come right back down. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, take a swan dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's step the right foot back. Lower that knee down. Actually, no, let's keep the left knee or the right knee lifted here. Now you can lower the right knee down. That's always an option. So it really is your choice. I'm going to choose to keep my right knee lifted here, but it is your choice. And then we're going to keep that right hand planted down on the inside of the left foot. And on the inhale, let's lift that left arm up for a twist. So the gaze can stay down, or you can look up towards that left hand. So this is also a choice. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. And on the next exhale, let's lower that hand down, and we're going to step that left foot back to meet the right and come into downward facing dog. And you can pedal the legs out. And you can even take a child's pose here if you'd like to reset. We're just going to do that on the other side. So when you're ready, we're going to do an inhale, lifting that left leg into a three-legged dog. Exhale, the left knee comes to meet to the nose. We'll step that left knee through. Right knee lowers down, low lunge. Send the chest through. We want to lift that chest up, let it shine through. Coming onto the fingertips here, or using the blocks or books if you have them. Again, you can even have a chair here, using the seat of the chair. The back foot can come flat onto the top of the foot. If your low lunge doesn't look like mine, that's okay. Your low lunge may be back more here, or even back here, and that's okay. You should be feeling a stretch in the front of that back leg. So in the hip flexors, in that area, that's where you want to feel the stretch. So everybody's different. You go where your body feels the stretch, and then you breathe through the nose and out the nose. Softening through the body, sending that fresh oxygen to the right thigh. Exhaling out all the tightness, the tension. On the next inhale, sending the hips towards the back of the mat. The front toes lift up, keeping a nice straight spine. Beginning to stretch the back of the leg, the front leg. Again, returning to our breath. Imagining, maybe you take your left thumb and bring it into this left hip crease and draw that hip crease back. Should really feel a difference there in the back of that thigh, back of that leg. Toes are lifted. Nice controlled breathing. Maybe a little bit of a smile on your face. Next inhale, we're going to shift back forward, removing any of the blocks. Hands plant, curl the back toes. We're going to come and meet the front foot for our forward fold. Let the head hang heavy for a second. Take a nice bend in the legs. And on your next inhale, we'll get a nice flat back. Send the crown of the head out long. Exhale and fold. And on the inhale, root to rise. Take a nice flat back as we rise up all the way nice and tall. Palms touch overhead. Exhale the palms down to heart center. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, plant the hands, step back to a plank pose. Hold here. Lift the hips up to a high downward dog. From here, I want you to lift that right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant that foot. And then keep this left hand planted down. You have the choice to lower the left knee down to the mat or keep it lifted. And we're going to inhale, open up to the right for a nice twist on this side. Taking a couple of controlled breaths on this side. Gaze can be up or down. Slowly lower the hand back down. Step the foot back, and we're going to lower to our knees. Big toes come to touch. Take the knees nice and wide. Send the hips back onto the heels. To slowly lower the chest, let it melt down to the earth. Let's take a child's pose. Taking a moment here now to reset. Coming back to your breath. Coming back to your intention that you set at the beginning of this practice. Noticing the energy moving within your body. Coming back to your breath. Just noticing how you can create this energy. You can create this calmness. You can create this energy. You can create whatever you put your mind to, whatever you put your breath to, whatever mantra or saying or intention that you set for yourself. So just allow that to sink in here for a moment. When you're ready, you can lift the gaze, rise up, and let's all meet in a seated position. Bringing the soles of our feet to touch, sending the knees nice and wide, coming into a butterfly pose. So in this pose, we're going to interlace our hands and see if we can wrap them around the toes. And once we do this, I want to then draw the upper body up as high as we can. You should feel a nice stretch in the trap muscles here. Now, if you're unable to wrap the fingers around the toes, that's okay. You can come into the traditional butterfly pose with the hands around the ankles or the shins, wherever they may be. Sitting up with a nice spine, straight spine. We're going to take some nice deep breaths here. Focusing on the inhales as the breath travels down through the chest, into the abdomen, And as we exhale, it comes back up through the chest, into the throat, and out the mouth, out the nose. Notice the cool air as it comes in through the nostrils. And notice the nice warm air as we exhale out the nostril. We'll gently release the hands, and we're going to send the left leg now out long, nice and straight. I'm going to bring the bottom of my right foot into the inner thigh. It can come to the calf muscle, whichever is accessible for you. I'm going to turn my upper body to be square over the left foot. My left foot is flexed. Both sit bones are on the mat. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, begin to fold from the hips, reaching for whatever you can reach for, a nice flat back, and then I'm just going to fold right over the leg. You can take a gentle bend in the knee or a nice bend, whichever feels nice for you. Just beginning to stretch out this leg. Again, breathing that fresh oxygen throughout the entire left leg. Preparing this leg for our day today. And then slowly taking the hands, and we're going to walk the hands around through center, and I'm going to bring my right hand and continue traveling around to the back. And then I'm going to lift and bring my weight onto this right hand and my right leg, lifting all the way up and overhead, coming into a baby wild thing. I love this stretch. It's like a full body stretch. Just reaching overhead. And then just slowly releasing, coming back down onto the sit bones. And then we're just going to switch sides, so straightening out this right leg. And the left foot comes in, both sit bones down. Reach the arms up overhead, straight spine, folding over the leg. And you'll notice one side is more flexible than the other. And that's normal. You'll notice that in your hips, and the legs, shoulders. And that's normal. It's always good though to do these stretches where you stretch each side. Same with strength training, to strengthen one leg and then strengthen the other. You can let the neck and the head be heavy here. And again, just slowly walking the hands around, coming to the back as we gently lift up, reaching the arm overhead for a baby wild thing. And then slowly settling back down onto the mat. And we're going to make our way down onto our backs. So we can just come down onto our sides using our arms to make our way down onto the mat. And then rolling onto our backs. So the knees are bent, the feet are flat onto the mat. Just taking a moment here, letting the spinal fluid acclimate to the supine position. Taking just a couple breaths here. And now drawing the right knee up into the chest. And now you could stay here, or you could choose to lengthen out the left leg. Make it a straight leg here. I like to flex my right foot just to keep it active. Both feet actually can be flexed in this position. And then from here, draw the right knee now towards the right armpit. Should really feel it getting into that right hip. And again, everybody's flexibility is different. So everybody's gonna look different in every pose. So that's okay. So we wanna get out of our minds. We wanna get out of comparing. So comparing ourselves to one another, or beating ourselves up. So just remember that this is your practice. And I used to always practice with my eyes closed, and I loved it. So it really helped me to just come into myself. And it really helped me to really make the practice my own. So that's my wonderful advice for the day. You can always roll out the ankle here. And then from here, I invite you to take the right hand, placing it on the right knee, and just allowing the leg to roll out to the side and back up, and just begin to draw circles with the knee. Really getting into the hip joint here, lubricating that joint. These may be small circles, they may be large circles. And then go in the opposite direction. And once you're back to center, we'll stay here and hold. And now we're going to take the left hand to the outside of the knee and just draw it across the body, coming into a supine twist. So the right arm will stay over to the right. We're going to try to keep that right shoulder onto the mat. If this is too much of a twist for you, always bring both knees together and then do the twist. Your choice. Coming into a supine twist, your gaze can stay over here to the left, or you can take it all the way over to the right. Just beginning to slow the breathing here. See if you could begin to slow your breath down. Maybe practicing closing your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Only if it feels safe, you feel comfortable doing it. Imagining the oxygen traveling throughout the entire body. And then gently coming back in through center, you can release that right leg, bringing the foot to the mat. Draw the left foot, actually let's draw both knees into the body. Just roll it out a little bit. Side to side. Little bit of massage on the low back. Never hurt anybody, always feels great. And then the right foot will now come down to the mat as we hug the left knee into the body, into the chest. Flexing the left foot. And again, you're welcome to stay right here. If you want to feel a little more, you can straighten out that right leg. And now hugging that left knee towards the left armpit. And you can always make little movements. You can rock it from the chest to the left armpit, or just really tiny movements, just whatever feels good. Both feet are flexed in this position. And again, just welcoming in our breath, our breathing, sending the oxygen to the hip. You can roll out the ankle. Take it in the opposite direction. And then placing the left hand on top of the left knee and dropping that knee to the outside and beginning to draw circles. Just making circles with the knee, getting into that hip joint. You might hear some pops, and that's okay. Taking it back in the opposite direction. And then once you're back in the center, we'll end that movement. And then taking the knee in the right, with the right hand, we're going to cross it over the body, coming into a supine twist. And again, you could use a block to place underneath the knee here, or a pillow for support. We're trying to keep the left shoulder down on the mat. You could take the gaze over that left shoulder, beyond the left hand, if that's available. And then we're just coming back to slowing the breath down. And then drawing the knee back through center. Let's draw both knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Release both knees down. And let's extend one leg out long. And then the other. Taking the feet as wide as the mat. Letting the toes just splay open to the outside. The palms will rest down by the sides with the palms facing up. Take up lots of space. We want to take up a lot of space here. And then maybe press into the elbows and into the back of the head as you lift up your back and snuggle those shoulder blades right underneath the body. Let's get nice and comfortable as we come into our final relaxation. Just do any of your little last wiggles and jiggles. Get nice and comfortable, adjust any of your clothes. Maybe cover up with a blanket if that makes you feel comfortable, nice and warm. Once you're here, let's just take a nice deep breath through the nose. Then open the mouth, gentle sigh, exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth. Now let the breath just be natural. Begin to relax the body down. Let it melt down into the earth. Feel the mat coming up to meet your body as it supports you. Feel everything just become heavy. Let your eyes fall back into the sockets as your jaw releases and softens. Any thoughts that may arise, just acknowledge them and then let them float away with the clouds. As we take a moment of stillness and silence in Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Slowly awakening our body, we'll welcome gentle movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. Maybe reaching the legs long and the arms overhead, taking a stretch, just like when we woke up this morning. And then bending the knees, rolling on to your favorite side, resting your head on the arm beneath, coming into fetal pose. And just take a moment here to remember your intention that you set at the beginning of practice today. Remembering your mantra or your word that you want to take with you today. And remember to give yourself gratitude for showing up for yourself and coming to the mat this morning. And when you're ready, begin to slowly make your way back to a seated position. Taking your time, keeping your eyes gently closed. Coming back to where we met at the beginning of practice. We'll end our practice this morning with one final breath taken together. The arms will sweep out to the side. Inhale. Palms touch overhead. Exhale. Arms down through heart center. Palms touch at the sternum. The light that's within me sees, honors, and cherishes the light that's within each and every one of you. Namaste. And gently open the eyes. Welcome back to the world. I hope you're ready for your day and you have a wonderful day. And we will see you next time. Namaste.